Being able to use it.
Give me a.
Let's see if I can be seen off that.
You know what I'll do? I'll be the video person.
You're gonna be
Right?
Yes, but just like half of you. Do you want me to change it, turn
Yeah,
a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because we still got Wade. Actually, Jeannie, you should probably let Wade be there, especially if I'm changing it just a slight,
Okay.
because then it focuses on him more.
Perfect.
Sorry, Wade. There we go. Now we got a lot of you, Vince, and now we got Wade and Jeannie.
All right, good afternoon, San Diego. It's Vince Scuncio, the Attorney's Resource, coming to you live on ESPN 1700 Inside the Law. I wanted to do a quick shout out to my little girl, Mercedes, who is not so little anymore. She's 15 years old today. And, you know, that whole thing about them growing up so fast, they really do grow up fast. And, gosh, I'm okay with my son growing older and all that, but not my little girl. Anyways, I digress a little bit. Hey, I got a great show today. I'm honored to have Wade Blair with Keller Williams join me live today. Thank you, Wade, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Vince. Thanks for having me.
We also have Gina Scott, who's going to be here today. He's my little sidekick.
Hello.
Not little, it's kind of rude.
I don't mind little.
But Jeannie Muldoon, the one and only. She's also my power partner over at Fidelity titled. Great company. And Jeannie, thank you for being on the air for the first time ever.
Thank you, Vince.
See, that wasn't so painful.
No, it's not so painful.
She's all they're all nervous and everything like that. We're doing video today and everything like that. So there's a lot of good stuff going to be happening today. So thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. So our guest of honor today, Wade Blair with Keller Williams. Wade, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're with Keller Williams. You're new to California, correct?
Moved to California, moved here 4 months ago from Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay. And why California?
I was with RE/MAX for 4 years.
Okay.
And had the opportunity to go work with Keller Williams in Flower Mound, Texas, a suburb of Dallas. And because of our numbers and opportunities, I had the chance to meet with Chris Heller and interview with him for this position as productivity coach and assistant team leader here in Carlsbad. So after 3 interviews later, here we are, and we've been looking to move here the past 14 years. So
Okay.
it's just a great segue to get here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more oceanfront here than.
There's quite a bit. Yeah. I'm from Houston, so I'm used to the beach a little bit, but
Right.
Dallas, you have the lakes, but love it here.
Great. Well, welcome to California. Usually people are moving that way. A lot of my friends have moved back to Texas and everything like that. I'm like, come on out to Texas. It's beautiful. And I'm like, it's flat. You know, not a lot of mountains out there. But you joined a great team. I mean, Chris Keller is he's a legend in real estate in San Diego County and one of the top agents in North County that I know of. So tell us I know a lot about Keller Williams, but for the listeners that don't, tell us a little bit about Keller Williams. You're in the North County office.
Yes, sir, Carlsbad.
Okay. And tell us about that office. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're a growing office. Chris Heller is actually the CEO of Keller Williams Realty International, and he's also the franchiser, so he owns the franchise.
Okay.
So we have a direct link with him, and it's great when you have that much, you're that close in vicinity to the CEO.
Right.
You get to go straight to him and direct connect with him. So you're learning a lot, you get a lot of exposure. So we're onboarding about 6 to 10 agents a month.
Okay.
So we're experiencing some pretty heavy growth right now, so it's exciting.
This isn't a recruiting thing.
We have another Keller Williams.
Another Keller Williams. Here we go.
Vince will be number 11 next month.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, you know what to say to that one.
He's still not getting the hint. Wade.
I'm
We keep
slow.
bringing Keller Williams. I mean, it's a come to Keller
I'm
Williams
all just a pretty
meeting.
face right here. I'm not real bright, but you know. All right, so you're the head recruiter over there. You're also an investor, a realtor, a real estate coach. I mean, you wear a lot of hats over there.
We do. It's a lot of fun. I'm an investor, so I have an investment property in Louisville, which is a suburb of Dallas as well. And so it's neat that I can help coach our agents into production, not just hey, how's your business going, but building wealth.
Right.
And that's the neat thing about Keller Williams is truly showing our agents how to build wealth, not that surface level conversations where I used to work prior of just, hey, how's it going?
Right.
How's the business? Very surface level. We dig in, we build wealth here. We have wealth conversations, and that really engages our agents in growing their business and building a big life for them.
Well, and I think a lot of, in real estate especially, you know, and we've seen this over the years, you know, you've been doing this as long as I have, real estate's very transactional, right? And people, they're chasing that next deal. And I've been guilty of that sometimes. It's just like, I just got to get the next person in the door. You know, I just got to have a big month, and then I'll start thinking about wealth. And that's something I don't think is handled, or that's not a conversation that most companies have. I mean, I don't know of any other companies, and I'm not, I'm sitting here like, well, Keller Williams, though I do really respect the company. We've had people from other companies come on. I don't think that's ever even come up.
Well, we're definitely not transactional, especially as a real estate coach, teaching our guys that, look, you can work hard, you can work smart, you can prospect all day long for the next 20 years, and then when you quit selling, you quit making.
Right.
Or we can build that database and build it and massage past clients and stay in contact with them, show them how that process works. Now, after 5-10 years, it's all referral.
Right.
They're not having to door knock, cold call expireds, all the agents are calling expireds in the direct market for sale by owners. So, a little different system on how we're coaching our guys.
I remember when I took my house off the market, I started getting calls from people. I'm like, could you just do some basic research to see that my name is the same as the listing agent?
Right on.
And I was tempted to set appointments with people just to be like, if you're stupid enough to call me, not check, and then, set an appointment. But anyways, I digress.
Do a little due diligence and
A pinch.
find out about it.
Yeah, just a little bit on it. So, so you moved the whole family out here.
We did. So we were originally from Houston area, moved from Houston to Dallas 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so, I have a 21-year-old and I have a 17-year-old. So that was kind of a big transition from Houston to Dallas, leaving my friends. And then moving here, my 21-year-old's in Houston,
Okay.
bodybuilder and a personal trainer, and give a little plug, Houston's gym in Houston. And my 17-year-old's graduating this year, and we're looking at visiting colleges right now. So we're excited, and it was a big move, but I think eventually my 21-year-old will be out here since he's in bodybuilding. And so
Right.
I think all around it's a good fit. Wife's doing well in her new business, and it's a blessing.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Jeannie, you have anything you want to add yet?
Not yet. This is riveting conversation.
The backside joke of this, everyone, is that Gina's always the one that comes on the radio and always kind of co-hosts with me, and Jeannie always sits there and diddles on her computer over there and kind of laughs at us. And for the first time, we're actually getting her on the show, which was kind of a requirement of Wade coming on the show. Is like, I'll come on if you actually come on and participate, which is the second part of that one.
And actually, Benson, we said earlier in the green room, she was trying to crawfish on me. She was like, no, I'm not going on. I'm like, well, I'm not either.
Yeah, if you guys had left me hanging,
Hit it in the Vince and Gina show. It might have been very slow, so sorry to say.
All right. So going forward, you do a lot of obviously as the manager,
Productivity coach.
Productivity coach. I guess that's better term. I know that in real estate, there's kind of this slowdown that happens, which I love because that means my competition kind of takes the rest of the year off, which means that my January is always like one of the best parts of my year because I work my butt off through the end of the year. What do you see with your agents? What are you coaching them to do between now and the end of the year?
Well, here's what we're doing. We're teaching them that there is going to be another shift.
Right.
I don't know if you felt it. We're feeling there is a shift, and so it's not like that heavy shift yet.
Right.
But we're preparing our agents to build that foundation, so when the market does shift, and if it does get that bad, they're taught the right activities and processes to continue to build their business.
Right.
And not be like the 75% of the other National Association of Realtors stat that rookies 2 years or less aren't here any longer.
Right.
So we're teaching these guys how to be that top 25% that's not just going to survive, but thrive in real estate.
And how's that being received?
Eyes wide open. I mean,
Yeah.
just the Grinch smile. They're like, absolutely. Because every time I ask recruits that are coming in, new agents that transfer, raise your hand, who joined real estate to fail? And that's kind of a setup question. But
Right.
here's the deal. So what you guys have to do, we're going to teach you all the activities and what to do. You just have to do it.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest challenge. People just think, hey, the market's great. Let me get into real estate and let me get my license. And who's not a realtor in the San Diego area?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's
good Lord.
That's what I tell my attorneys. It's like, there's probably 30,000 agents in San Diego County. There's probably 5 within 10 feet of where we're sitting. The bar to entry to real estate is pretty low. I mean, you have to have a pulse and checkbook, right? and that's not to take away from the people that do it that are professionals. This is what I do for a living, and I've been successful for 20 years. You've been doing this a long time and been successful. But there's a lot of people that come in thinking, if I sell a house, I'm going to make 25, 30 grand.
Right.
Or I can go work, $10 an hour over here and make the same amount of money. Why not, right? And you're always going to have that onesie twosie agent, but I don't think that's really what Keller Williams is about. I mean, that's not what I'm about. You're about the professional agent. This is what you do for a living. This isn't a hobby. This isn't. That could be a commercial.
That was good, Ben.
I know, right?
All of this is a mindset.
Right.
It's teaching these guys that, look, are you here to sell 1 or 2 homes? Because if you sell 1 or 2 homes at an average sales price of $500,000, you're not making a lot.
Right.
You're grossing a certain amount, and then after taxes, you're not netting a lot. So let's build a business plan. So a big part of Keller Williams is helping you build that business plan. You know, how many homes do you have to sell to net $100,000?
Right.
How many buyers do you have to be working at all times? How many signs have to be in the ground at all times on a 45-day days on market turnover to net how much you want to net? So it's a business plan.
Right.
It's not just get your license and, okay, what do I do today?
Yeah.
It's the calendar telling you what to work on each day. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and I love that because, I mean, I think we've heard it over and over. That seems to be the constant thread through Keller Williams. There's systems in place. It's business planning. It's building wealth. It really is agent-centered. And, I mean, I met an agent today who's been retired 8 years and had worked in the Keller Williams system since 1999 when they originally opened. And he's still collecting checks today, doing nothing for 8 years. And that was huge. I mean, you don't hear that.
Well, I hear a lot of agents that haven't done anything for 8 years. They're getting checks.
No, he's retired. He's
Right.
actually retired, but had started, you know, and he's like, and it's awesome for him.
That's an exception. I don't think a lot of agents actually can retire because they're not running it like a business.
Right. Well, I'm guilty of that at points, you know, and I've had that conversation. That when I shut my doors, I have a couple computers. I mean, you don't really have the goodwill like you would in an insurance company or some of these other entities where you have that constant referral business that if you're not, like you mentioned, if you're not working, you're not getting paid. And so, you know, I think that contributes to Keller Williams being, are you guys like the #1 in the world?
Yeah, so we're over 125 agents, so #1 in
25,000?
125,000. Did I say 125?
Yeah, I was going to say that's not that big, bro.
They're producers.
Yeah. There's that many in this building, probably.
Calls back.
Yeah.
Over 125,000 agents worldwide. Since January, we've grown 17%, so we're experiencing massive growth. And I think it's a lot of agents, not just new agents, experienced agents coming over that want to build that business, that big life. You know, they're hitting a ceiling of 10 million or 5 million or whatever they're hitting year after year. They're ready for the next level. And where they're at currently maybe is not getting it to them. So they're ready for the next steps to help build that business plan, and that's the fun part too.
You guys prep them on this?
No.
Because it sounds like a total conversation we've had.
No, this is organic. There is no
Well, business
script.
truly comes from the passion of enjoying what you do. Because where
Right.
I used to work, kind of make it fair to the other broker I was at. I was with them for 4 years, and you're just not taught to run it like a business.
Right.
You're just a realtor.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, you wake up and I don't know what I'm doing today. Maybe I do an open house this month. I don't know.
Right.
And you're not taught how to go treat clients and how to retain clients and how to build a database and stay in contact with them and how often, trickle effect. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things that go into building a business plan. So, and that trickles down to the clients.
Okay.
So when these guys are taught how to build a business plan, they're building it big for themselves, but they're also this rolls down to their clients. So they're totally taking care of their clients.
Got it. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to come back again with Wade Blair with Keller Williams Realty in North County. Stay tuned for more Inside Law with Vince Scuncio, the attorney's resource, and my power partners from Fidelity Title. Be right back.
That was awesome.
All right, so we're still on video, so we can't drop any F-bombs.
Oh.
Everyone want to wave. Come in a little closer on the mic. You're kind of soft-spoken when you're going through it, so you're going to say something, Jeannie. I swear.
Ask questions. Come on.
I'm good. I'm listening. It's good.
Look, pick a question here to ask. You've got
Circle one, just like
let's remember we
Well,
talked about.
I'm really
we can
liking
talk about the buyers. I
the
mean, I don't want to make it all about Keller Williams. I mean, we can talk about.
It's your show, man.
Why would it? No, it's it's really about what do listeners want to hear of the Keller Williams. What we can dig on. Sellers, should I sell after? Should I wait until after the holidays to list? Well,
No,
not
Jeannie can
necessarily.
ask that
that
one.
question.
Jeannie can
Okay.
ask it.
yeah.
Because you can chime in too. Because no, absolutely not. There's more competition. Who knows where the
I think it's an opinion thing, but I like the idea of, when you're talking Keller Williams, like, what are you guys doing towards the end of the year? I could talk all day what I'm going to do, but, the average agent is shutting down. It's the holidays and, Thanksgiving. I mean, I've experienced it too. People are like, well, it's the end of the year. I'm like, you still got 2 more months. It doesn't shut off. Everything you do today get paid in January. So what are you doing today? So from the recruiting aspect, I see you're taking lots of notes. I'd love to know what you got going on over
It's
there.
writing down.
Well,
Yeah.
just
They're
like I
texting
love
her
that,
husband.
that first
Yes.
quarter, being prepared in the fourth quarter to set up your paycheck for the first quarter.
Right.
I mean, that's a big one too. Now, I was just writing down your talking about transactional. I was just talking about, you mentioned shift, so I want to make sure I talk about NAR and shifting and what that means. And
Yeah, we can talk about that and then come back around to let's talk about a little bit at the end of the year, what traditionally happens, and then kind of the shift of the conversation, and go from there. So, then look at this, see how it is.
No, I love it. That was a good, no.
Okay, so we have 12 minutes left of it.
Why am I getting the weird eye? You look like,
Are you getting the
looks
stink eye
like
over
I'm
there?
gonna get you.
I'm totally comfortable as you didn't think that.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, good.
So you got your question now?
Got my questions.
Especially when we talk about
So
the
which one
holidays,
which one you gonna do?
Jeannie's such a big Christmas person, and end of the year, and
Okay.
she can ask the holiday questions. But she hears this a lot. What, you know, should I wait till after the holiday?
So I hear you're a cat freak. No, don't leave that alone.
You said Catholic or cat lady?
A cat freak.
Oh.
Freak. Just cat freak.
We could go with that
Catholic
too. I don't
cat.
We can talk about that too.
know. All right, we're gonna leave Keller Williams then.
Recruit
We're gonna talk
everybody
about
at
We're an
GW
open book.
Cat
We're off
Ladies.
to Gina.
No cat ladies.
This is going to be an interesting video.
Yes.
Well, I would say, the best conversations are during the breaks, right?
Yes,
Where we kind of
sure.
talk about stuff, and that's kind of where you get the nitty gritty of what's going on. So,
Except we don't get to cuss.
I totally butchered Chris Heller's name. I said Keller. So I don't know why I always mess that up with him.
Hmm.
I was thinking Keller Williams. How long has he been with Keller Williams?
Who?
Chris Heller.
Shoot, 23 something years, 25 years.
I remember when Keller Williams came to Sacramento and it was like nobody, and then they just exploded. They
Yeah.
just dominated the market. I'm like,
LA market too.
Yeah.
West LA.
Well, I think on the west side over here, I mean, it's still Keller Who. I mean,
Really?
like in Dallas, the top 10 brands and units sold, 9 of the top 10 all Keller Williams offices. There are 23 offices in Dallas. I mean, we're killing it. Right?
Ah. Cute.
all right, welcome back to Inside Law with Vince Scuncio, the attorney's resource, and almost got a little weepy there. That was my daughter's 15th birthday today. Excellent choice. Normally you make me kind of make me dance back there in the booth, but we're back with Wade Blair with Keller Williams Realty in North County. Wade is the real estate coach, realtor, investor, recruiter. Pretty much wears every hat, shy of janitor and receptionist up there.
Sometimes I'm a team player.
All right, right.
Team
Take
player.
one for the team. Hey.
Absolutely.
Hey, as a one-man shop, I get it. I'm the top producer, the bottom producer. I'm the janitor. When you need a vacuum, I'm your guy. That's overrated. Just in
It
case
brings
you haven't-
value. Let's do it.
It brings value. Let's do it. So during the break, Jeannie had a question that she wanted to ask, and I'm just dying to get her on the air. Come on, Jeannie.
Jeannie, what you got for
They're
us?
just torturing me today.
What you got?
So Wade, if I'm a seller, is it a good idea for me to wait for after the holidays to sell my house?
Wow, that's a great question. You had a 15-minute segment to think about that one. I like that. Honestly, and Vince, you may chime in anytime. I think some of that's an opinion, but with the way that we're looking at it, now is the time because there's less competition. Now, usually around Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays, realtors are slowing down, the market's slowing down. So we feel that for competition-wise and where the values are on the home prices, now is the best time. You can't predict where the houses, what values are going to be in 6 months from now. What if we truly shift and go down, and then, so we just have to be that consultant to say, not to say, hey, I told you so, but just to be that consultant to say, here's what I think.
And I think on that note is people look at the short-term pain of it, right? Like I don't want to deal with stuff during the holidays. I don't want people coming to my house and everything like that. Well, there's a kind of a dip after the holidays.
Right.
Historically, and that dip could be it could be double-digit percentage right after the holidays. So if you're thinking of moving, you get out of the house this year. You may have a little short-term pain, dealing with it during the holidays, finding a new place, but you're going to probably get more for your house, and you'll be able to negotiate better on the house you're buying, which seems kind of at odds, but it isn't. I'm a believer, there's never a bad time to sell unless you have to sell. And then if you have to sell, it's always a bad time.
Well, when I give advice, it's off past experience. So I listed my house in Houston when we moved to Dallas. I listed on Christmas. We obviously didn't show on Christmas Day, but we got a ton of showings day after in that full week, and we had multiple offers, and it moved fast. So there's different folks with different strokes for different folks, but it worked for me, and so I advise all my clients, hey, let's just have a conversation.
Right.
Well, and you know what I've typically found, being in business for 17 plus years, during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that's when you have serious buyers.
Right.
That's who's out there looking. You know, during the summer, they always say it's the busiest time of the year, spring and summer, but you get a lot of people in town, and they're just looking, and they're perusing, that kind of stuff. But in the holiday season, you get people in here that are looking to buy.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're out looking for houses the week after Christmas, you're on a mission.
Yeah.
Serious.
Like, I need to get in by the first.
Well, the cool thing is we can offer our clients, extended closings. Like, look, we don't have to close in 45 days. Let's push it out 90 days or 60 days. If a buyer really wants it, they're going to wait. So let's list it now. Let's extend it out. You'll still have time to move and enjoy the holidays in your house. The pictures will look great because you got the holidays and the Christmas things. And Jeannie, you like Christmas a little bit, don't you?
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
How about so?
Cats and Christmas.
God, if you
Cats
could
and
combine the
Christmas,
two of them in
that's
like
it.
a Christmas tree.
Christmas cats, in fact, are best.
Yes, and there's a picture on Facebook of a Christmas tree made of cats.
That my fiance sent her.
Yes.
That's just a little creepy.
Just a
Here,
pinch.
Gina, I'll show you.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple times the shift of a market, right? And when you're coaching a prospective seller or buyer, and I do the same thing, and I'm telling them, I can't tell you I told you so or not told you so,
Right.
but I've had plenty of situations where someone was thinking, well, maybe I should sell my house, maybe I shouldn't, and then a house across the street goes for sale, less than what they would have. Guess what that did to your value, right? It just torched the neighborhood. Maybe not torch. I mean, that's a strong word, but I've seen it where significantly less than what you thought the market should be, and now you're in reactive mode versus proactive mode.
Right.
And I don't think you ever want to be in a reactive mode in real estate.
Well, especially if you haven't made payments on your house in a month or two, if you're going to try to sell and get out of a hole, now is the time.
Right.
You don't want to wait if the market shifts in 3, 4, 5 months or 8 months, and now you're really upside down. So that's where you get a professional real estate agent,
Mhm.
not a part-time,
Right.
full professional real estate agent that can consult you through this process. You just make the wise decision, do the due diligence, ask the right questions, that we'll consult with that, and let's see what happens.
So let's talk about the right agent. Let's talk about the professional agent, because you and I are both professionals, and there's plenty, I've mentioned this several times, is that there's probably 30,000 agents in San Diego County. At any given time, anyone in San Diego County is probably 10 feet from a realtor. I don't care if you're out on a hike alone. There's
Right.
one hiding in the bushes somewhere, right? And
Let's know that as a confirmation.
yeah, and so a professional agent, my definition of professional agent is this is what you do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
You're not dependent upon somebody else for income,
Right.
right? And that's not a slam towards the housewife or house husband or someone like that, but you come at this as it's a business, which is why the Keller Williams model I think is so. Seductive sounds the right word. It's so appealing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, part of the business plan is teaching these guys that. Look, I think traditionally there's a bad saying, realtors get a bad rap. You put the sign in the yard and you put it in MLS and 3 Ps. Put
Yeah.
it in MLS, place it in the sign in the yard, and then you pray.
Right.
Well, we're teaching our guys to do the 4th P, and that's prospect. That's the most important thing. How many buyers can we get in their house to create multiple offers and bring more interest?
Bring more value.
Putting a sign in the yard and let MLS selling it is not how you do it.
Right.
You might get lucky and it might sell, but truly picking the right realtor is that important. And I love competition. I don't mind competing on a listing against it because I know my passion and what
Mhm.
I'm going to do differently. And much like you know you're better than the other guy. Let's go. You want to compete? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Right. And if I lose, I win more than I lose. But you're right. I mean, I was having this conversation with an attorney about 2-3 weeks ago, and we were talking about that. The bar to entry is so low in real estate. The fact that someone can get their license, they can go out and list a home, and they can make, some of these homes in San Diego County, $2-3 million, you can make $75,000 commission on that. There's not another industry that I know of that you could be fresh out the gate and make that kind of money. I don't know an attorney out there that can come out the gate and charge $1,000 an hour right out of law school. And they've gone to 6-8 years of law school, gotten their master's, gotten past their juris. I mean, there's a lot to that. I kind of feel like in real estate we need to set the bar a little higher.
Well, coming from Dallas, our average sales price in Fireman was $255,000.
I see cars that much out here.
To put a sign in the yard and just letting down the MLS sell, it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting paid a lot. Here, we're not getting rich, but you're on a $600,000 house. We're making a lot of money.
Right.
So we should be doing the due diligence of taking care of our clients and doing all that prospecting and marketing. And I think it's up to the homeowners to make sure they're interviewing and asking the right questions, not just asking 5 questions and going surface level.
Right.
Hey, do you do marketing? Yes. Next question.
Right.
Can
Explain
you sell my
marketing.
house? Yes. Next question. It's digging in. Each question there should be 3 or 4 additional deeper questions to make sure that they are qualifying the best agent for them.
Right. And you know, I don't want to tell someone, hey, interview 5 agents, because I don't think you
Right,
necessarily
no.
need to. But I think that, again, it comes back down to the professionalism of the agent. Not necessarily, you know, how they appear and everything like that, but is this what that person does? You know, I know that the onesie-twosie agent, the person that's only going to do 1 to 2 transactions in a year maybe, they're not going to throw a lot of money into this. They're not going to throw a lot of time into it or effort because they may or may not have that experience.
Right.
They're not trying to get the buyers on it. They're just trying to get paid on that one deal, and it's a transaction. It's not a business, right? And you know, I'll give you an example. Our business is very service oriented. That's all we have, service and knowledge. I had the opportunity, and I had this happen this morning, so I'm going on a quick rant. I'm working with this insurance company up in Carlsbad. It's called Marsmatic and Associates. They suck, and I'm going to say that on the air, okay? I've had nothing but problems with them, and I went in this morning to resolve an issue, and they threw me out of the office. Now, I can be a little bombastic at times, but I'm your client. And they're like, well, you're not our client anymore. I said, I was your client when all this stuff happened.
Right.
You know, how do you build a business when that's your mantra? You know, you're not our client anymore. And that's not just Marsmatic in Carlsbad, but
Don't cross somebody who has a radio show,
Yeah.
people.
Note to self. Hello.
yeah,
Customer
but
service 101.
you know, it's all about customer service. So, anyways, I digress a little bit. I'm a little bitter, and I was like, I'm going to rant about this for like 5 minutes. And you're stuck listening to me talk about it, Marsmatic and Carlsbad. But anyway, so let's bring it back around to the happy
Right,
place
right.
here.
There we go. Do you need to
but-
see the Christmas cat?
Yeah, we
Christmas
need to bring
tree?
the Christmas cat out on the video and everything like that. You know, Keller Williams has a great model, and I think my personal opinion of what's made them so successful, like what you said, is that you're building businesses, you're building value, you're building wealth. Maybe not, you know, like massive, what people consider, you know, Donald Trump wealth, but real estate is very transactional, and that's what I think makes you guys so different in that respect.
Well, and I have a question too. I mean, considering, you know, if you're becoming a real estate agent, whether you talked about, you know, someone who's a 20-year agent versus someone who's brand new, do you have different programs for those kinds of people? I mean, somebody coming brand new, are they a little bit different in the Keller Williams system versus somebody who's been a 20-year agent? What do you do with that?
Let me ask you this question. Chris Heller used to work somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ah.
He was a producer there. Now where's he at?
Keller Williams.
CEO. He's got a multi-million-dollar business running in Encinitas, and he's engaged in Austin running a 125,000 employees in a worldwide business. So it can be done. So we're not just a training ground for new agents. It is a training ground for people that are capping at 10 million, like I said earlier, 10 million, 5 million. We have teams coming over doing 50 million, 60 million because they want more. And that's not greed. This is a business. If we're not growing, we're dying. So
Right.
we're teaching our agents to never be satisfied unless you're comfortable being satisfied. There's always room to